All right, ladies, Nick here again, going over another clinic of ours. This week we're going over the driver again. So earlier this season we covered a driver already, kind of worked on some setup stuff, really focusing on kind of trying to hit up on the driver. Today, a little different. We'll still be covering some setup stuff that I kind of see a lot of a common mistake from amateurs to low handicaps alike. So big thing with driver setup, like we worked on last time, was we want that ball position forward. I like to see that left shoulder a little higher, and that encourages us to try and catch that ball up on the upswing. So we covered a little bit of that in the last clinic video. It should still be able to see it if you don't remember, if you need a little refresher. Today we're going to be kind of covering a little more of direction, and a common mistake I often see with a lot of people is when we get set up to this ball to hit, especially with the driver, we end up with a very open stance. And what I mean by open is everything's kind of pointing left of where I want it to go. And what happens with that is tendency is when I set up open, and I'm talking shoulders, feet, everything open, even if my club face is pointing where I want it to go, I have a tendency to swing on that line. And when we swing across the ball, we get this big, weak shot out to the right. That's for my right-handed golfers, kind of flip-flop it for those left-handed golfers out there. But we get this big, weak one that kind of just starts straight and then just shoots straight right. And kind of the tendency is it's going to be really spinny and it's not going to go as far. Fade is going to spin a lot more and it's not going to have the same carry. So something we want to do to kind of correct that, and as you can see in my camera here, is we've got a very strong wind today. So something that's already a little spinny, if I go and hit that cut shot like that, it's going to go even shorter. So the setup, like I said, is when we get a little open like this, we have the tendency to swing on our body line. So what happens when I do that, I'll kind of show you. Wait for this wind to calm down here. Sorry about the conditions, but when I set up open like this, what I'm going to do again is I'm going to swing that direction. And what I do when that happens is I hit a big, high, weak one out to the right. Not a very good result, especially into this nasty wind that we're dealing with right now. It's not very good. So to kind of fix that, what I like to do is when I set up is let me make sure my club face is square to where I want this ball to go, and then I kind of set my body up around it. So now you can see, instead of my shoulders pointing way over here, I'm pointing a little more down to where I want that ball to go. And again, all that's going to do is encourage us to have that better path of swinging more towards the target. And so when we put it all together, combined with that left shoulder a little higher, ball position forward, my shoulders and body are nice and square, we end up with a little straighter shot. And as you can see, I'm still working on my path, so I tend to have a little over the top anyway. But this is one little thing that you guys can do. I hear a lot of the complaint is don't have any distance anymore. And usually it's we set up really open, we hit that little weak push cut out to the right. So just check when you set up, shoulders, hips, feet, everything's nice and square to the club face, and make your swing out to the target like that. All right, well, I'll see you all this afternoon for this clinic. Thanks again for watching.